Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast. And thanks Phoenix Light for sponsoring this week's interview. The best design comes from the actual needs of users. Phoenix takes providing mobile lighting products with excellent performance as the goal and born for harsh environments as its mission. Our two guests today experienced some harsh environments for their Dragon's Back race. Never forget why you started and your mission can be accomplished. And don't forget, patrons can enjoy 10% off over at phoenixlight.co.uk, and all you lovely listeners can receive 5% off with the code T&T5. Pop over to www.phoenixlight.co.uk for the 5% code or Patreon for the 10% code. We have just recorded a review for the Phoenix HP 12R-T head torch. It is a great product, but did it impress us enough to turn our back on the super popular HM65R-T? You'll have to watch to find out. I'll pop all the links in the description.
Every week, Gary, when we do this, I think it can't get any better. This award-winning podcast. We won an award? We did win an award once, didn't we?
We did, my goodness me. It's not about us.
I love it. Every week, though, I think we meet a guest. Oh, and they're so lovely. And I just want to invite them round for cups of tea. And I don't want to say goodbye. You meet someone and you're like, oh, it feels like that you sort of, your time runs out. And you're like, oh, I've got to say goodbye. I didn't want to say goodbye to these two. Hopefully, our paths will cross. This week, we talked to Carolyn and Carwyn. I thought it might be quite complicated with the names, Kaz and Carz as well. But it's really easy, actually, to differentiate because they talk as one, but they also let each other tell their own story of this year's Dragon's Back. Carz first drew my attention in the Instagram stories of he was being cheered on by Trish at every support point in the early days. And it was actually Trish that then said to us, you've got to talk to these two. They are brilliant. And how brilliant were they sharing their story? It has its highs and lows, emotional, but it's also a great story, not just of their experience of Dragon's Back, if you were there and you experienced the weather, but also perhaps you're thinking about doing a multi-day. Lots of little tips that they give as well. But their journey in their relationship as daughter and dad is really inspiring and
it's wonderful.
Oh, it's heartwarming. And a lot of us will relate to it of our relationships with our parents or with special running friends, that there is a bond you can't describe. And it's a very special relationship. And the moments that you have together on the hills, whatever the outcome of the race or the challenge or the run, those moments when somebody doesn't put their gloves on, somebody doesn't eat, it rings the bells with all of us. So, and if you haven't, I say this at the end of the podcast, but if you've never watched our podcast on YouTube, I would say this is a really lovely one to boil the kettle, make a pot. It's a long one, and watch these two chatting away, because the love that they've got for each other, the way that they sort of look at each other, the side eye as well that goes on, it's brilliant. We love talking to them. So here is our chat with Carolyn and Carwyn about their journey down through Wales and this year's Dragon's Back.
How you doing? Have we all got a brew? Has everyone got a brew?
Everyone's got a
I
brew.
love running. I might need to top mine up because I've already drunk half of it.
I'm the same, actually. I've literally just been handed it and I'm just drunk half of it.
I've downed it.
The whole
What? We need a teapot. That's all we need.
Yeah.
I've got beer envy. I'm trying to grow a beard, but you've just totally flexed on me there. That's incredible.
Oh, sorry then.
Gary just does this.
Yeah, I do these kind of weird.
I don't do anything to my beard. That's the worst. That's the worst thing. Things could literally be growing in it.
Nice little surprise for later. I love it.
You know,
Fredo or something. Yeah, I've been kind of debating. Do I need to put some? Is there even a thing? Beard oil? We talked about it last week.
I was given it for Christmas at some point. Hardly ever used it.
What's the picture in the background? It's incredible.
It's beautiful.
My wife is she's a glass artist, but she does a bit of painting as well. And this is just one of the paintings she's done of the Selly Hills.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness, super talented. Look at that.
Yeah. And then the little dragons on the top.
We can. Oh, there we are. Yeah.
Our little bees.
You've accumulated quite a few actually over the years. Incredible. So was that 2019? Was your first year?
Yeah. Right? 2017.
2017. Sorry.
I marshalled in 2015. Ran it the first time in 2017, but I tore my calf muscle halfway through day 3, coming onto the bloody road.
Typical.
Yeah. In Machynlleth.
2019 you finished.
I came back then and finished it.
So you'd have seen it evolve from like map and compass adventure race to what it is now with the hatchling. And then I suppose next year they're going to have the dragon's head and the dragon's tail.
Yeah.
Completely different.
So there's lots going on, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how it pans out next year. It's I've even had people I know think that they fancy doing the first 2 days because I think they really want to do Crib Goch. They want to go over that. So
Do you know, if I had 2 days I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't do those first 2 days.
Today's guests are 2 runners who know how to chase finish lines and stories. Carwyn Phillips, the endurance junkie with a knack of turning pain into punchlines, and Carolyn Watkins, whose steady stride and soulful reflections mind us why we run in the first place. From muddy miles to mental breakthroughs, they'll share the highs and lows, whether you're training for your next ultra or just trying to outrun your inbox. This episode is your dose of motivation and inspiration. Let's lace up and dive in.
You set the tone. You two were like smiling at each other then. I loved it. Oh, awesome.
Welcome to the Tea and Trills podcast. How are you both recovering? Is it, 3 weeks out roughly from this? I know it's like a 6-day race, isn't it? So it kind of not quite 3 weeks, but I remember my recovery. I don't think I was quite over it 3 weeks afterwards. How are you both doing?
Painfully slow. I didn't even complete it. Yeah, it's been very slow. Foot is still in a boot at the moment. So.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And what's the prognosis for that? How long are you still in the boot?
Yeah, no time frame really at the moment. I had 2 small stress fractures, both on the same ankle. So I can't even drive. So from literally on mountains to to homebound.
Yeah, but I know this is rubbish, but it's a stress fracture, and so you will be healed in like 3 weeks' time. These tendons and ligaments, they can go on for months and months and months. So though it's rubbish and you broke your bones, which is more concerning, but at least once they're healed, hopefully, nothing else is too bad that you'll be back. And also, does it give you a little bit of slight little bit of comfort that it was really bad, your injury?
I did say at the time, if I'd come away with anything less, I would have been disappointed. So,
I always say that, death or morphine. So I think you did yourself proud.
Yeah.
You never want to finish a race like that, but you obviously worked yourself to the absolute limits. So it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you?
Still struggling with above the feet then, basically. Not the sole of my feet, but just above the feet, around the ankles, around where Carolyn's got a stress fracture, I suppose, around the bottom of the leg and up into the shin there. But just still really sore and stuff. We both had swollen feet for COVID. Yeah. But regarding blisters, you had a couple of blisters.
But I were like dreamy.
Yeah, my feet are like. I don't suffer with any blisters. I could wear any old socks.
Yeah.
Get away without any blisters. So yeah, I'm quite lucky that way.
We ask all our guests, where are you? What's the view from your window? Well, I don't suppose either of you have been for a run today. Yeah, Carz, if you could go first, please.
From our window currently is literally our garden. So we're looking out at the garden. We've got a little pond. Rachel's studio is at the bottom of the garden. She does her stained glass. So she's got bits of stained glass hanging up in her studio, which is lovely, especially on a sunny day like this.
And we're in Maen Clochog, which is in Pembrokeshire, near the Preseli Hills. So we've got some nice trails to run around as well.
6 miles, little trail. We'd love a cafe. What kind of route we're going to go for? Local highlights.
The village is blessed with a lovely cafe. It's been awarded several Welsh awards.
You guys would love it. Like good pots of tea, coffee, and slabs of cake.
Yeah.
With that, let's end. Eddie leaves the meeting.
yeah, definitely.
And then local trails, wow. So you could hit the coastal path, or we've got some good elevation that you can make up in the Preseli Hills. So Dad's pretty nifty. He invented this wall of death, which is like the steeper side of one of our hills. And you could do reps up it to sort of get, 3,000-4,000 feet if you really wanted to in 6 miles.
Whoa. Is that a Strava segment as well?
It is actually.
Yeah, I created one years ago.
Yeah.
How many reps have you done up the wall of death?
So my record is 12 reps. So it equated to 10,000 foot.
12 reps, 10,000 foot. So it's just under 1,000.
1,000 foot. So they're not massive hills. They're big enough. Yeah, it's pretty steep.
Yeah, it's a steep old hill.
Yeah, so that's when in lockdown I just wanted to do something that got me over 10K of vert. So I did 12 reps.
That is amazing.
That was good, You joined me for some of it.
Yeah, I did.
And you were still young into your running career then.
Yeah.
Yeah, what inspired you to start running and then I suppose, hit the trails?
Dad's always been a keen runner. I did nothing. We did a lot of hill walking when I was younger, but never enjoyed running. I was a little bit chubby at school, not one of those slim athletic builds. I always just found running really hard, never gave it a chance. I've got 2 boys and the youngest was maybe about 2 and I just wanted something for me. So I just ran around to sort of our 2.5 mile loop around the village and it wrecked me because I couldn't even run up the road. And this was 6 years ago. And then it kind of took on from there very quickly in that 3 weeks later, we organised a couple of fell races and Dad said, "Oh, would you ever like to do the 10-mile one, the shorter one?" And I went, "Oh yeah, I'd love to."
Dad he was like, at last, my dreams have come through. I'm not letting her out of this.
Running around the block, went to do 10 miles and it wrecked me. But from there on out, no couch to 5K. It was knee deep from there, really. I just loved seeing the landscape that, from a different point of view. I didn't know any of the hills' names before that. And yeah, it was the start of many adventures.
What was that like for you? Because I know I've never really forced any exercise on my 2 kids, but now as they're getting older and they're finding their own sports and they want to be fit for that sport, I love it when George just says, "I'm going to go for a run," or Esme says she's been on for a treadmill. Yeah, what was that like for you?
It's always been amazing spending time with Carz. We used to spend a lot of time together going climbing. Well, we were each other's climbing partners, and you go into lead climbing Penrith is well known for cliff climbing. So we used to do a lot of cliff climbing years ago, and then we stopped doing climbing when the kids came along, time and everything. But with running, it's a lot more. You can do it yourself. You can go anytime or with a group of friends or whatever. My question to you was, how would you fancy doing a mountain marathon with me? And you just turned around and said yes without even thinking about it. So that sort of got you motivated into getting a pair of trainers on.
Yeah.
But it's amazing just spending time. We don't say much, do we? We stop now and again. And we have the same appreciation of things. We stop and look at the view, and things could be quiet. You don't say much.
No.
But it's just being in that moment.
Yeah.
You tend to listen to podcasts or whatever if you're out running by yourself. But I like the wild of the countryside, of the hills. Hearing the birds or whatever. I'm not one of these who will have something in my ears. I'll just be thinking stuff. Going back to your first question, yeah, it's amazing. It's just, I really appreciate the time with Carz up on the hills.
Lots of people will be thinking, I couldn't run with my parent or vice versa because there'd be words. Some people can't run with their wives, husbands, partners, friends. Is there ever a little friction in the relationship? You both seem so you seem pretty easygoing.
Do you know, even 4.5
You're listening
days
to your podcast, Cass.
Even 4.5 days of Dragon's Back, there was at no point where I was sick. He might be thinking something else.
That's another podcast.
And I think it just helps that the feeling's mutual in that just pure respect for the mountains and the space that you're in. And if anything, it's just brought us closer.
Are you quite a similar pace?
Dad is a lot faster downhill, especially any technical descents. But I suppose over a day, we're quite evenly matched, I guess.
Yeah.
If you weren't as a team, Carolyn, would one be more competitive than the other?
Oh, massively. Dad is so competitive. But with me in tow, maybe that's relaxed a little bit.
Carolyn, again, we mentioned Dragon's Back race there. We might as well get straight into it. Why the Dragon's Back race? And why together? I'm really curious, whose idea was it, to team up?
I had my eye on Dragon's Back race probably before I started running, actually. So in 2017, Dad laced up his shoes, ready to start. And I was there at Conwy, looked at the start line and thought, these people are crazy, but what an adventure. Yeah, it kind of sowed the seed of, well, how do you even train for something like this? And where are these people from? And just that kind of mutual feeling all around of everyone's in this together and they're going to have such an adventure, or, across all these mountains in these days. So even back then, I was kind of eyeing it up. But it wasn't until maybe 2 years ago, I really started looking at it for myself and marshalled on it last year. So you get quite a good appreciation of what's going on in camp and things like that. And we both marshalled on it last year for the pure purpose as well that we were always going to do this year together. Whose idea it was first? I don't really know. I think we kind of came to that conclusion ourselves and then just decided we were both going to run it together. I don't think there was ever a conversation of, do you want to do it? It was just, we just knew. And if we both entered, it was always going to be together.
When you find that person that you don't really have to communicate with when you're running, I think you really found your running mate, and you almost have this kind of like psychic connection where you kind of agreed to do this race without actually talking about it. Was it always pure adventure, or did you have a goal for the race?
Just to complete it together. That was the goal. We'd recce'd most of it. I know most of it from previous years as well anyway. We've loved doing the recce's together, but it was the actual doing it, but also camping together. So we stayed in the same tent, in the same sort of pod bit then. So because we get on really well, it was just basically the adventure and a challenge of doing it together. That was the main goal of this, doing Dragons Back. It is, you've done it, Gary. It's an amazing journey. That's the thing. And the people you meet as well. It's not just about doing the race as such. It is a lot about meeting the people, their stories, why, they're wise. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me. Why are they doing it? Why are we doing it? When we were doing it, we had our reasons for doing it together. But obviously being a Welshman, Welsh lady, I mean, it's quite a special journey travelling down through Wales in your home country.
Yeah.
We appreciate the mountains, everything. So, it's a special race for me. And you, but it's a special race for me because I love being a part of it as well. Whether, I've loved volunteering on it. I love probably that more than doing the race itself,
What's your favourite volunteer job that you've got to do?
It's definitely the water point for me. Since they've introduced the water point, I've been on that then, really, since then.
And don't be fooled, it's not just any marshalling that Dad does. It's always full fancy dress everywhere he goes. Ladies' outfits, going to college before the start, hitting all the charity shops to see the best outfit that you can find. So, it's full on work, not just giving out water.
No. There's thought and preparation that goes into this. This is what you're saying, that the actual giving out water, that's just the tip of the iceberg to the actual, what is going on, the thought of, and everything. Yeah. You need it.
As you're coming off the fells or the mountains and you're just feeling the low ebb and you see somebody in fancy dress, it just brings a little smile to your face. And when you were feeling down in the dumps, just that little welcome distraction. You probably do realise this because people say it to you quite often, Kaz. Yeah, it's greatly appreciated, I think, by every runner,
I think Trish tried to take over your mantle. She tried to steal Instagram and take over your mantle, but she didn't bring the fancy dress. So she missed a trick there, didn't she? She brought the enthusiasm.
It was amazing. Oh my gosh, I love Trish.
Yeah.
She was.
You need to subscribe. I'll add you to the WhatsApp group of her daily voice notes of motivation and general, just her vibe of like, she's just doing the school run and she's bringing the, get out there, guys. We can do this. We can.
Trish in fancy dress would be like a female you.
Oh, can you imagine them together?
I know. It'd be too much for them.
I think it'd be too much. I don't think people would leave the checkpoint. They'd be exhausted. They'd be Let's go to day one then, because otherwise we'll chat and we won't actually get the Dragons Back story. Let's go to day one. How do you feel at the start of the journey together? You're both super prepared. You've done the recce's. I've read the blog. You know all the shortcuts. If anybody wants to steal.
What shortcuts?
What shortcuts? Well, proper
fastest
lines.
Fastest
lines. The weather was perhaps not the downer, but added a whole new dimension, didn't it, really, to the first half of the race. How did you feel? Were you nervous about the weather, or were you like, well, we live in Wales, it is what it is?
We were nervous about the weather. Didn't expect it to be so biblical. Amount of water and the tiny streams became sort of torrents. I suffer with cramp really badly usually.
Okay.
So I don't like getting too hot. So I tend to leave just running in shorts and t-shirt for as long as possible. But I think I probably left it too long. I put my jacket on before hitting the big kind of thighs. And then I was cold and inside for too long. And I got quite hypothermic. Probably should have stopped earlier. When you think about having to stop in all that rain and wind, to take your waterproof jacket on, to then think about getting your insulated layer out to put on, and then you're going to, you start shivering even more.
There'll be people at home shaking their heads, Carz.
I know.
Yeah, but
I know.
Gary, we've been there. We've been there together. We've
I've
got
done
ourselves
exactly
in
what- yeah, yeah.
terrible situation. So
I'm
we
not
can
judging
shake all we
you.
want, but when you're in it and you're moving and you're like, it's a really hard call to make because you're like, if I stop now, I'm not even sure I can get my top on.
Yeah.
But I need to find somewhere where I can shelter to get stuff on.
Yeah.
And everything
Yeah.
was already wet. You were having to take a wet layer off to then put a dry layer, even though it would keep you warmer, to then put a wet layer back on top.
Did you ever all week, because camp life, even in the sunny year I did it, everything was kind of still a bit moist and musky the next day? You must have just been putting on soaking wet clothes day after day.
I'll leave you answer this one, Carz, because this drove you nuts today.
So in all the glorious weather we had, not once did I prepare that this was going to be such a wet week. Eddie, I've listened to hours of your podcast and the chafe.
Oh no, we're not going down here, are we? Was it
So Dragon's
awful?
back. You can only bring with you 15 kilos in a massive
Was
bag.
it all lube?
Yeah, pretty much. So you're thinking, right, you need a large proportion of that is food. So you scrimp on we did scrimp on clothing. You're thinking, right, I'll have maybe 2 pairs of shorts, couple of tops,
and this,
2 sports bras, Eddie, which was
yeah.
the best thing ever. So by day 2,
Yeah.
By day 2, obviously a lot of stuff is wet. The chafe, I will spare you the pictures, guys, but the chafe was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
And your weight down mid-body.
Like sports bra to the point where it was borderline antibiotics for the state of the chafe. Oh my.
I had to put cream on there.
Oh, poor you. You
Yeah.
had to apply a bit of cream.
You had it much worse, Carz.
When
Much worse.
you lifted the top and I go, oh my God.
Dreadful.
Yeah.
It was dreadful.
like,
So the weather was just, not only did it affect all the clothing, it affected like all your body because your shoes were constantly wet. And
Yeah.
of course you can't bring more than 2 really because of the
Yeah.
weight of the pack. And then just, the sheer amount of clothing we couldn't bring was just...
and added to that, of all the years to not have a drying room, in the past they've had drying tents. So you could sort of hang stuff out inside.
Yeah, it was deemed to be a bit of a fire risk to have the drying room. But yeah, it was...
When did you hear about Crib Gork? Was that something you knew before you started on day one? And was that, I suppose for a lot of people, that might have been quite disappointing?
We told the night before, Campbell.
So we had an email the day before. So on registration day saying that obviously the weather wasn't looking great, but they were making the call on the morning of day 1. So obviously they'd have a team up to assess and see whether or not we were going to be doing Crib Gork. So we got told on the start line in Conwy Castle that we wouldn't be doing it. For me personally, I think, I was disappointed to not do it because obviously you'd reccied it. It's a huge part of day 1, isn't it? That's what everyone's fearful of or looks forward to in equal measure. But with the weather, it was kind of a relief that we weren't going over it because I can't imagine, especially for people who had never reccied it in that weather. Yeah, a little bit sad to have not done it, but in the weather, not ideal.
And not ideal. I think it's not just the terrain, is it? Is people moving so slow. If you struggle a little bit keeping warm, not talking to anybody in particular in the Zoom call, but if you do struggle keeping warm and then you've got the weather and you're moving a bit slow as well, that's the last place you want to be feeling cold, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But you get the pig track slog then.
Yeah,
which I think when you're on it, you're probably like, oh.
Yeah.
Just go on for a bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
We were glad to be out of the wind. I mean, there's still wind on the big track even.
Yeah, it was.
Once you got up onto the bulk before Snowdon itself, it was super windy.
Yeah.
Even Snowdon Trig, it was
Yeah.
to hold on.
So how close to cut-offs were you? What were you thinking, like, on a normal dry day? Would you be quite comfortable in the cut-offs, or were you always thinking about the cut-offs during the day as well?
Day 1, we were quite good, actually. I think we were always about an hour and a half sort of under the 2 main cut-offs of the
That's so
day.
impressive.
And then we got
considering the
in-
weather.
Was it about 7:30, I think?
Yeah, we've got about 7, up to 7 something like that.
Yeah, for
So-
day 1. And for me, day 1 finish line was
Amazing.
like day 6 finish line because
So-
with the weather, I was just so relieved. We got in, I was like, I can't believe we've got in. It's just such such a relief, especially that terrain as well. And
Oh, amazing.
yes, that was a huge win for us.
Yeah.
And then your camp admin, are you team admin like you are on the hill, or are you one of you a little bit more organized than the other? Do you help each other out? You're like, I'll get the chips, I'll do the shoes, or you're just looking after yourselves?
We talked about a lot of this before the event. So we had a goal, we knew what we needed to do. So we got in, we do basically the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Talk about as we go along. Right, are you going to get chips now, or are you going to,
Yes.
you know, set for sleeping things at the same time? Sort yourself out, protein shake, whatever. Just make sure we were both done and into bed at the same time.
Yeah.
Anything that was left sort of after 10:30 would be a tomorrow morning problem. Not that we left too much to last minute. Generally on the same page for most things.
You're a crack team. This is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just what you need, isn't it? Because I am so guilty of this. Even just after a normal run, is I sit and I stare.
I can hemorrhage time. It's unbelievable.
I just sit there and I'm like, what was I doing? Carz is having none of it. He's like, do you? I'm disappointed, Eddie.
Yeah.
Tight ship.
Yeah.
You're pretty tight ship, but it's good. It's like, right, get in, have a protein shake, get some stretching in, get warm. We both suffer a little bit with Raynaud's, like cold hands. So we've always had to be quite proactive in that. I say this and you were almost hypothermic on day one. But like, you know, making sure you keep your hands warm. And sometimes, I know that sounds awful, we're digressing a bit now, but you know, if you get in from a run, I can't shower straight away because I'm so cold. My hands get so cold. So I have to like wrap up, cup of tea. And then after like an hour or two, after I've properly warmed up, then I can shower. But immediately it's just,
I have my post-run clothes. So I take all my wet stuff off.
Yeah.
Then I put dry layers on, have my cup of tea, warm my hands up a bit. Drives my husband mad. He's like, will you go and
it's
wash
not just it.
Yeah, we're the same.
Really cold.
Same.
Yeah.
Do you have any gloves? What's your sort of glove of choice on the hill?
Glove of choice. I've got a pair of really good Innovate. They're like the mitts.
Yeah, I've got those. They're good.
Montaigne
mitts.
Oh, they are amazing, aren't they? But they're no good in the wet. But for cold hands.
Yeah, those. Yeah. And then a pair of the Innovate waterproof mitts over the top. That's dreamy.
Yeah, but on Dragon's Back, I had these tiny, thin pair of gloves, mainly for me, because I like to keep eating food. So for me, if I've got to take mitts off, it's more of a hassle taking the mitts off, pick up my trail mix of food.
Tell them though, what else about your little gloves that you
they're not whole, like as in the ends of the fingers have worn off.
Oh my goodness.
So how did these pass? Well, let's not ask how they passed.
But they're still a pair of gloves.
I know, but if you suffer a bit from the cold, maybe a mitten is the key.
Yeah,
more like cycling. You know when you have like the finger.
Yeah, I know. I can see.
They're better than that. They got more than the finger. It's really just the ends of.
I know. Well, maybe rubber gloves. Have you tried rubber gloves?
I did have a pair of marigolds. Yeah,
did you wear them?
I didn't wear them once.
No, that's why I guessed.
Did you ever go on one of the streams at camp? Because, you're freezing cold, you're wet. The last thing I think I'd want to do in the dark as well, potentially go and sit in a stream for 20 minutes.
You know, disgustingly, I didn't get to any stream, Gary. Sounds
incredible. I love it.
I know. I had some wet wipes, which I used, but there was no streams for me, I'm afraid. Disgusting, I know. Might be taken off the podcast for that, but...
Oh, no, I'm embracing it. There wouldn't have been... I would never,
I don't think I would have gone in.
Nah, too
yeah,
cold.
I'm a bit the same. The plan was to go in and wash my legs, but by the time you sort out that and then you do get a bit cold, and you know that if you get in the stream, your hands are going to start shivering even more. Once you're warm, you do not want to get cold again.
Yeah. So can we move on to day 2? I'm curious then, you've done your admin. What time are you on the start line on day 2? Is it like really early?
Yeah, day 2, we were quite religious about this. For going into the race, we said we want the maximum time for each day. So 6 o'clock on the start line. Everything was organised, all bags packed, ready to go for both of us. So quite a lot of people actually out 6 a.m. on the start line for day 2. I think with the weather the way that it had been the day before, we'd recce'd all of day 2, so we knew what to expect. So you've got Knecht for the first half, and then you've got and then you've got the Finnogs for the latter half of day 2. So it was always going to be an early start. The weather wasn't too bad actually for day 2. Less rain, less wind. So we were looking forward to day 2. Your favourite tops of the Frynog. So we'd recce'd a lot of that together. First half wasn't too bad. We kind of kept good time, made some friends, get chatting. I'd met this lovely girl called Seema who'd attempted it last year. It was like I'd known her for years, the way I was talking to her across the Frynogs. But also that meant that towards the end of the day I was not eating, and I'd gone probably 2 hours before I properly realised that I hadn't really eaten anything. So the end of day 2 I thought was actually going to be the end of my race, because I slogged it in, and the last 3 miles I couldn't even run. It was a hike. I had to keep stopping, and it was not a good finish line for the end of day 2 for me.
Had you kind of dug yourself too much of a hole nutritionally? Like you couldn't just sit there and just take on a load of calories?
Yeah, no, it was a definite no-go. If I'd eaten maybe the first hour, towards the end, I would have been okay. But I'd gone so long, I was too busy talking, basically. Whereas Dad's more of a navigator and then stops to eat because he's not talking so much. Whereas I found a new best friend. Not that I pitched you, but I found a new best friend, and I wanted to know everything about her because she was from the Lake District. So I was like, "Oh, tell me everything about you." And she had dogs, so what's not to like? It was a bit of a worrying end to day 2, and then I couldn't eat anything at tea time.
So are you chasing cut-offs though for the end of day 2?
No, we still plenty of time in cut-offs.
I'm in about 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so it's like over 2 hours, isn't it? It's like 10:30 or something.
Yeah.
There's a judgy face of disappointed dad coming out then, or are you keeping it together?
No, not really. I know Carz has got like a couple of stomach issues. So you're gluten intolerant, dairy intolerant, and some foods, once you get to a certain point, you really struggle to eat literally anything.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a worry, especially when you come into camp. Everybody was just worried for you. You had a bowl full of chips and you couldn't even stomach them. You basically had 1 cup of tea with a little sugar in.
This is big warning signs then.
Yeah.
I think you spoke about your last race, Eddie, of like, you just had to keep quiet and no one knows how bad you are. You're too far gone that you can't say how bad you are. And you just hope no one will really notice.
And the medics are like circling and you're like, it's fine. It'll just get me to the tent, Dad. It'll all be, I can do this. I don't need chips or tea.
Yeah. So bless, all our kind of shortcuts for day 2 weren't really that much shorter because I'd taken so long towards the end of the day that it didn't really pay off.
I think cold weather kit came out. I don't know if it was, did it actually manifest it was super cold that day, or talk us through day 3, please.
So day 3, Carolyn managed to eat some food, which is breakfast.
Hey.
We managed to get some food down here pretty well.
Starving
by then, which is a good sign. Because the night of day 2, you said, I don't know if I could do it tomorrow. I think you had a bit of a carbohydrate drink.
Yeah.
Sip on through the night. Anyway, so I said, no, see what you like in the morning. See if we can get some food down here, and then we'll see.
Yeah.
So you might as well get some food. We headed off. We were quite perky.
Yeah.
Set off quite well, going through Dolgellau and up towards Carwyn. The weather, they did warn us about the winds, and it did turn super cold. The wind, and the rain.
Yeah.
Thank God for your gloves. Thank God for those warm gloves. Just pop those on, not a problem.
It was cold weather kit for day 3.
Yeah, as well. So to a point where when we got to Carwyn, I went straight into the shelter, pulled my waterproof coat off, and then put my insulated layer on, and then coat back on.
You learned the hard way from day 1.
Yeah.
Oh, but you learn. And I'm learning from you that when you do that's really cold. That is cold.
It was really cold. It was like the race didn't exist and you were just there to kind of survive. Really was.
Yeah. But that's what we pay for. That's the adventure, isn't it? Yeah. You never feel like that in a recce because you can always stop in a recce and you can always at the end of the day, you're going to go home and sit in our post-run clothes and not have a shower for ages. Yeah. But when you're in these races, it's like, I've got to survive. No one's coming to get me. And if they do, the race is over. And so, but that's like the adventuring spirit, isn't it? And
Yeah.
wow.
You feel incredible. As soon as you put that insulated jacket on, it's like, oh my goodness me, why did I leave it so long? Day 3 is you can hit the shops in day 3. Did you go and stock up on pastries and Coca-Cola?
We did, yeah. So the start of day 3 was all about fueling every 20 minutes for me. No slacking now. Got to pick this up. So start of day 3, I was really good every 20 minutes. Even sports nutrition was fine. I just needed to make sure I got it in. And then we hit McCuntath and we went to Greg's, didn't we?
Yeah.
We'd had a plan all along that we were going to go to the garage and get like a sandwich, but no, the weather being so pants, we were like, we need something warm. So you got like a chicken bake or something?
Yeah, you had a couple of vegan
Sausage rolls. Yeah, vegan sausage rolls all the way.
And a couple of other bits and pieces.
Yeah.
By the time we got to Machynlleth, our feet were quite sore.
Yeah, yeah.
So where you've got your, stress fractures getting a bit sore.
Yeah.
Likewise. Got through support point.
Yeah.
And we were moving all right.
Yeah.
Up over Pimlimon.
Yeah, saw Trish at the support point, who was like the highlight of the support point for each
No,
day.
you guys were the high point because they shared the little story of your Welsh. I don't know what it was that day, but we had a little Welsh lesson every day.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, can I butt in as well? The first highlight was as we got to Carwyn, there was 2 lovely people on by the fence line.
Yeah.
Wasn't there? 2 ladies, random people that had come up in that biblical weather with bottles of Coke and little chocolate darkways. And they were handing them out for all the runners.
Jenny, it was Jenny, wasn't it? I saw that on the Facebook group. It was Jenny did that.
Jenny.
Oh, Jenny was one of them. Yeah, that was amazing.
So much, Jenny. If you're listening to this, you were godsend, little angel.
Yeah,
Truly angels. I love it.
Yeah, and your mate. Thank you.
People that do that are just incredible. They make your race. They make your day.
Yeah,
They really do.
Yeah, and it makes you think, wow, these people have travelled all the way up here with big bottles of Coke to cheer us on. As all we have an obligation here to carry on for them.
Yeah.
That's what I take out of it. It's amazing. So lots of love to them and everybody.
Well, second half of day 3 was okay. We got it done.
Yeah.
Pimlimon is a bit of a slog up to Pimlimon, isn't it? The track just goes round and round and round. Towards the end of the day, we're still running off Pimlimon and passing people. So
yeah. What's your drill? You two, as you're passing people? Are you like kind of like
well,
Dragging people along.
yeah.
Yeah.
join the train?
By then they're like, don't talk to her, No, I'm joking. No, just keeping each other going. Very much mindset. If you can run, you should. That kind of right. How much have we got left in the tanks? I made it to camp just as it was getting dark, so sort of 8-ish. A nice happy finish for day 3. We were still smiling, had eaten plenty, so it was a much better finish.
People are saying, "Oh, Carz is back."
Carz is back, yeah.
And are you, at this point, I don't want to kind of bring the mood down, but are you a regular in the medic tent by end of day 3, or did this all kind of unfold on day 4?
We got into camp, ate some food. I think once the adrenaline started to wear off, we were both quite mindful how sore our feet were. Mine was the top of my right foot, sort of anterior tib area was really swollen. So I did go into the medic tent and they strapped it. She said, "Oh, we'll see what it's like by the morning," was the consensus. And your feet were quite sore end of day 3. There was nothing more to do apart from painkillers, food, assess each kind of half day really and see how we're... But the moods were still quite high on day 3.
Yeah. Did we try and go to sleep with our feet on the bags? I think we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
On the
feet
support bag.
validated. Yeah.
Oh, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because the hamstrings are not happy when you do.
No, I know.
Yeah.
You're desperate to have your legs up, and then the hamstrings are like, "Oh, it's not
Yeah.
any flexion in me."
What's the least amount of pain we can get away with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk us through day 4. On paper, the easiest day, if my memory's correct, or compared to some of the days you've had, it's probably not as arduous. But yeah, it just sounds like you were in agony.
You were crying. You were really emotional start of day 4.
My feet were quite swollen.
Yeah.
But just...
Yeah. And my feet were sore. So we both found ourselves in the medic tent start of day 4. But admin was still on point at this point. Everything was ready to go. 6 o'clock start again, or I think 10 past 6.
Yeah, but 10 past 6, isn't it?
Yeah, on paper, an easier day if you can run. There was deviation, so it was 3 miles longer but slightly less elevation, just because some of the woodlands had been cut down. So it was still sort of 45 miles. Oh, my feet. I kind of went into this race thinking, I just need to get through the pain cave. Like, that's my ticket out here. It's just, and I was a bit nervous. Like, I've never done anything this hard, so I didn't really know what to expect. But I thought, if I can just keep going, keep through the pain cave, it'll be okay. I can handle pain. By sort of the first third of day 4, I was in so much pain that we'd kind of made a mutual decision that we were going to stop at the support point, both of us, and drop down to the hatchling. And we were a bit teary because it wasn't the dream, but we were okay with that.
Yeah, and at that point, we were still like, okay, we're still going to get to Cardiff.
Yeah.
Spot.
Yeah.
Even on the hatchling. We'd given it, we'd come to that sort of realisation. We'd given it our all. And I was going to always do what Carolyn was going to do. If either of us had to drop down, the other one would as well, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But also, it's really hard, isn't it? You train so hard for these races and you just don't know what's going to unfold each day.
The jeopardy. Yeah, the jeopardy's
Well,
tough.
I was really disappointed that my feet were hurting so much because I thought I've trained really hard for this, and at no point had I experienced any foot problems at all. I do think the weather had a lot to play. Anyway, we got into the support point of day 4 where Trish was waiting, and I just sobbed my heart out. I could do this like shuffle. It was literally just, I couldn't walk. It was a ultra shuffle. Oh, it was the most heartbreaking I think I've ever felt on a run at that point. So we kind of walked over to the hatchling bus, which I won't even tell you what I thought about going over to the hatchling.
And it's a long walk as well.
It's a long walk to the bus. Again, it was like, right, okay, this has happened. We just have to learn, move forward, assess. We're trying to keep our spirits up. And for everyone else, I was so happy for people coming in on the full course who I knew the kind of pain they were going through and what it was taking to get them to there.
Yeah.
So I was just rooting them on and cheering them on. But secretly sad at that point for both of us to be dropping down, but we couldn't have made a different decision, really.
No.
So.
It must have been so emotional for everybody. Yourself and Carwyn, you've seen your daughter really struggling. You've got friends in the support point. I imagine everybody had a little bit of dust in their eye at that point.
Yeah, I don't think we really realised what the issue was.
Yeah.
At that point, we still thought, we're going to start hatchling on day 5. So we got to day 4 camp. Family came and met us outside. That was quite emotional because you were
Kids and my husband, Daddy.
Oh no! Oh my God, that's too much for me.
and friends and me. So we met up with them outside.
Were you almost like, I can't, it's too much? I'd have been like, it's too much. I can't deal with that right now.
And seeing Mammy literally in a broken mess, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not many times, I don't think, where they've seen me completely broken.
It's the first time. It's the first of many. Don't worry. It's a very good life lesson. I don't know how old your kids are, but I think mine are probably a bit older, and they've now it's the normal state. Your husband must have been quite worried about you, thinking when you were like, I'm going to go on tomorrow, and he must have been thinking, I need you to look after the kids.
Yeah, a little bit, but do you know what? It's amazing what you can hide, isn't it, as an ultra?
Oh, I'm the queen of it. It sounds like you're the queen of it too. Yeah, I feel for you so much that when you've trained for something and you're brought down by not the fitness, because the fitness was there and you were managing everything, you're brought down by something out of your control. But I know that that feeling of when you're like, you're in it and you're in the race and you're in, and then the next minute, bang, you suddenly got to come back to reality a little bit and back to life.
Day 4, we were still very much like, we're just going to have a nice time and continue on in the hatchling, and kind of come to the realization that's what was going to happen. But then day 5, woke up and I couldn't really move my right foot at all, couldn't flex it. It had swollen to twice the size of my other foot, and I couldn't do up my shoelaces. Got to the medic's tent. Morag, the lovely, lovely medic in there, pressed one bit of my shin and I was screaming. I knew what she was trying to say, but I couldn't take it in. And it's only when she said, Oh, I'm going to start crying.
Yeah.
Fine. Gary loves it. Gary loves it. Let it flow. He won't. We'll just watch him. He'll look how awkward he looks.
It's only when she said, "I'll go and get your dad," I kind of realised what she was saying. So they were pulling me basically from the race. And the hardest bit, I think, was not only had I trained so hard for this, I trained so hard that if I was going to need to be pulled, if I was going to, not only was I finishing for myself, I was finishing for Dad. You're older than me, you're my dad. So I'd built myself into be a tough brick house so that if anything happened, if he needed to pull out, I would carry him. It was never supposed to be the other way around. That's all I could say at the time was, I'm sorry, because I felt just felt like I was letting him down rather than for my race.
Yeah, when Morag came to the tent, you were in the medics tent, and Morag came around, bless her. I've known Morag for years. And she said, I need you to come and reiterate the fact that we're going to have to, Carz can't carry on. And obviously, it was absolutely for the right thing. As hard as it is, but basically the dream of going to Cardiff together then was in bits, really. So we and everybody else that was around us at the time.
The and the medical tent, everybody weeping with you, I'm sure.
Yeah, we were just in bits. And I'm not an emotional person. Yeah, seeing you so much in pain, but also emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That must have been tough starting day 5 without your daughter. Goodness me, that would have been super emotional too.
So one of the things, that are behind us here, pull it down. This is Carz's little me. Rachel made these little teddies of us and painted them. So Carolyn's got colourful hair and different things. You can't see them in close up. So we tied these to our rucksacks. Sort of my idea to have these, because I was thinking it was going to be me that was going to have to drop out or not make it to Cardiff for some reason. Yeah. And she was then going to carry me. That's me there.
You've got enormous teeth.
Yeah. That's my beard. That's my beard, that is. And he's got a beastly buff on as well. It's got my little hat. As the hat on. This was my incentive then to carry on.
Yeah.
So I was going to carry Carolyn to Cardiff, basically, and she was always going to be with me. This was her little me, so I was going to carry her. Because it was late in the morning, well, not late. So I started off from the support point then on day 5. But it was pretty emotional setting off without Carolyn. But I kept saying, you're with me, come on, we're doing it together. Sort of shouting out to the sky just to keep going. Part of me likes encouraging people. So every time I came across somebody, either if I was passing them or if they were passing me, I'd always be shouting words of encouragement out to them because it sort of lifts you up a little bit as well. Yeah, it was tough, day 5 and day 6, without Carolyn, but I knew she was always with me and I knew I'd be seeing her in Cardiff.
And you're in A&E at this time, are you?
Yeah, so harsh reality of going from, it's like, Gary, a pretty amazing dragon bubble, right? You're just filled with people surrounding you with like-minded people. And then I was, in 4 walls in A&E and it just felt so surreal. It felt like it wasn't real. And I didn't want it to be real either. Proper wake-up call and not what I really wanted. So I had an x-ray. They said they couldn't see the stress fractures because it was so swollen at the time, but they said 90%, it's stress fracture, but I couldn't take it in. I didn't want to hear it. I wanted to be back on the beacons with Dad. When you went to these big things, you always know there's the possibility that something bad can happen, but I'd done the work, I'd done the training, and I was hoping I could get there. But I think it puts these races into perspective. Reflecting now, it wasn't about the castle, it was about having an amazing time with my dad. Even if I was to do the race again, I could never relive the moments that we shared on the trails and the people we met and the camp. So I'm trying not to see it as a DNF. I'm trying to think it was just an adventure that pushed us a little bit harder than we would have done ourselves, and hopefully to inspire some people to give it a go, because you just don't know until you try. So that's what I'm choosing to take away.
Yeah, you never know who's watching. We say this, I probably say this every week on the podcast. You never know who's watching. So I'm pretty sure, yes, there's somebody listening. They're out on their run today and they're thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind. Mind you, we talk about the Dragon's Back race every other week, but yeah, hopefully there's someone there thinking, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing this. But you did make it to Cardiff, is that correct? You saw your dad finish?
I did, yeah, which I needed to be there. It wasn't a question of how or anything like that. It was, I needed to be there to see him finish. Yeah, I got to say, it was one of those finish lines that I don't think we'll ever be able to recreate. It was very emotional. I kind of felt this tug all the way through day 5 and day 6 that Dad didn't have to carry on. He was under no obligation. You know, we'd said that if one of us couldn't, then we'd carry each other. But, you know, what courage is it to carry on for your daughter when he didn't need to? He didn't need a baby dragon. He'd already got his dragon in 2019. So you didn't need to do it. So yeah, I think that just brought us closer, that kind of realization that, yeah, it was never about the trophy.
Oh, that's great. It never is about the trophy. And a lot of your story will ring true with lots of people. And lots of people, I think, they feel a sense of shame around and not finishing a race. And there is that sort of deep, like, it's not an embarrassment, Kaz. You're able to word things much better than I am. I think you need to take over my job, actually. But there's that huge sense of disappointment. And I think, you know, we're not that far away from it. We're 3 weeks away. But then reframing it does take time, and you've done really well to reframe it already, to look back. And I promise you, another 3 weeks, you're going to have another whole new perspective of it that goes, what is it? I always say it, don't I? It's not what I wanted, but it's what I needed. And in some ways, that journey will set you up for future, the strength you'll have got from it, the big part of your relationship that's probably built even stronger, the memories that you've got from that. Seeing your dad do that's your grandchildren, seeing you, Carwyn, do that for their mum, that's the sort of bond and relationship, and it's that's priceless, and that's nothing else matters about for that. And also nothing else matters apart from that you both are here and you're healthy, and you've got poor Kaz in the boot. That's rubbish. I've done that as well, and that is rubbish. If people are ever thinking about perhaps doing a race with a family member or with a friend, what would you say to them? Because Gary and I talked only a couple of weeks ago about like doing a race together and how we'd love to do a race together as a like pair or something. What are the like sort of pros of doing it together that has brought you both such joy?
For me, anyway, we're very similar in our nature, in our work ethic, in our day-to-day life. If you're somebody similar, you will get on really well. If you're quite different in even day-to-day life things, but you're running the same sort of standards, then you might struggle, because on a longer races or events, things might start grinding, you know, against each other. And
are you saying me and Gary shouldn't do this?
No, no, not at all. But I just think it will test your relationship as friends, but it might, you know, you might find that it would cement them even harder, because you're pushing yourselves, you're keeping each other's going through perhaps difficult times.
There's no hiding, is there? When you're this deep into an adventure, you see the real person, and you love that real person for everything. And they might annoy you a bit, but everybody does, don't they? But the love that you have for them is the bit that shines the brightest, isn't it?
Yeah. But sometimes people forget that, do they? Sometimes.
I think the only thing I can think that's remotely similar is when Robbo and I did the Bob Graham round.
I was just thinking about Robbo, and you and Robbo are the great team. He tolerates you.
Well, we started and finished Lakeland 100 together, so we've had quite a few adventures. I've probably got more memories from our failed Bob Graham attempt. Yeah, those shared memories and those moments together. I'll cherish those forever. Really, find the person that you could share the miles with. Would we survive Northern Traverse, Eddie?
No, I'm smashing you at Northern Traverse. There's no team in that race.
I'm keeping very quiet. Eddie's just firing shots every week. I love it.
Yeah.
You got to talk the talk. If you can't walk the walk, I'm going to talk it up, and then
Dad'll be there in his fancy dress. Why
are you going to be there?
I haven't signed up to volunteering at Northern Traverse yet. But I'm definitely. I've always said about Dragon's Back. I've always said I've always wanted to either volunteer or, if I'm not volunteering, then I'd run it, or likewise. So because I feel Dragon's Back is part of me.
You're part of it.
Yeah, well,
You are.
Yeah, but I've always said so that's a big passion. So, but I have volunteered on many other audio events. So, because I love the team, so you might see me. Don't know.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers
Is it too
crossed.
soon though? Have you had a conversation that, maybe not next year, but you'll try again?
I will eventually. I'd like to marshal on it next year and just give back, but probably not imminently. I think I need to let it sink a little bit longer. Do you know, my body felt fine. It was just my feet, which I think is more depressing, really. So kind of working through the things that went wrong. It's a big commitment, isn't it, when you do these big, long races? It's the training, it's the time away from family. It's not to say I don't want to do big races, but I do them because I enjoy the challenge. I'm not sure that doing day 5 and day 6 is enough to bring me back at the moment, because I've done day 5 as recce's and day 6 is to Cardiff. And I'm not saying never, but not imminently.
We talk a lot about the physical side of it, but I don't think people sometimes appreciate the mental load of a race like this too, the commitment, and then what you go through on race. And then I suppose this was one of the Brew with the Coaches questions, I think, recently, the void afterwards, what you fill that gap with. It's, something that's often overlooked, but everybody here will have experienced that.
And that's a really tough bit, isn't it? Because you can't just fill it with protein shakes and collagen.
No.
You have to work through it.
Try my best.
We've done a couple of these rodeos now to know that just talking, even if we don't say all that much, there were 2 of us in this household doing Dragon's Back. So it was very much like we talk, you know, even if we just find running documentaries to watch for the foreseeable and kind of check in on each other. It's so important, right? Because that can be really tough, especially with a DNF.
It's not DNF.
Not finish. Yeah. They're quite hard to. That's my first DNF. This was the Dragon's Back, so it was quite a big gamble, really. Yeah, just working through it bit by bit, I think, is really important.
Just sitting with it, 'cause that's all you can do is sit with it, and that little black cloud and the disappointment will change. The cloud will change, and the rain will fall from it, and the memory, that disappointment will fade, and you'll be able to see what you did and how much you achieved will become clearer. But you can't rush that as well. You have to just let it be. But by sitting with it and allowing yourself to feel it, just feel it, then you're healing as well. And you've got the best person to sit next to as well. I think everybody would love a little bit of time with with the legend. Have you got any other races that you'd like to do together?
So you've done a Paddy Buckley before, which is 68 miles around, one of these rounds in North Wales. I'd love to do a Paddy Buckley, so we're talking about doing it together next year. Dad, you'd like to do a Joss Naylor?
Yeah. I didn't. I should have done it when I was over 50. But
Someone else has got their eye on that too.
Well, I did it when I did it supporting a friend, and I actually set off from the start with them and did it all. But I was only 48 at the time, so I have done it all.
It's quite spicy though, isn't it? It's not an easy challenge.
Not in the first, like the 12-hour challenge. When you're over 50, between 50 and before your 55th birthday, you've got 12 hours to do it in. Whereas once you're over 55 to nearly 60, you've got 15 hours. So I'm now in that category. So so that's my goal for next year, to do that sort of early-ish in the year, because thinking about it'd be good training before doing a Paddy again. I've still got my eye on doing a Ramsey, because then I can tick all 4 off, really. So I've done the Bob Graham years ago, did the Paddy Buckley years ago, did the Millionaires round in 2012. So it's only the Ramsey I've still got to tick off. Really.
Do it.
So that's my plans.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably just do recce's and other races as well.
Just days out, just still pushing yourself, but I just love making memories on the hills.
They're the best.
Yeah.
And even if your dad's doing a round, I helped a friend on a round at the weekend, and it was, you had to turn up, you still had to be present and take it seriously. But you didn't have the full stress on the 24-hour challenge, whatever the challenge is. I had absolute blast. It was great. Yeah, I had a great time.
I love love supporting.
Yeah.
Let's ask. I don't know what the answer's going to be to this. Or maybe
It's the
I
Strava
do.
segment. Hillary Pates. Julie.
What is, if people are listening, they want to be more like you guys, who wouldn't? What would be your workout of the week?
Oh, you're going for this one.
What? Workout of the week?
Yeah. Come
Well,
on.
it'd be-
Hit with your hardest one.
Oh, it's definitely hill reps.
Dad is pretty mean with his hill reps.
Is he? Come on, talk us through it. Give us your hardest session.
Oh, it's just basically find the hardest hill and just go up
Okay.
it as much as possible. I mean,
Old school. Love
I
it.
don't tend to, my uphills tend to be quite off-piste as well. So it's hard to run them fully. I find maybe some trods, but it's just hard. It's a hard graft.
Do you have a time? Do you like, right, I'm going to do an hour of this, I'm going to do that, or I'm going to do this 10 times, or...
Eddie, it's like until you're dead.
I'm nervous about prescribing this to people. We need
I love the hills though. You just run and then the effort's
Yeah.
there. You know, it's not like you say, I had to do 3 times 5 minutes today. So I had to really push to get that pace and the effort. But a hill just does it for you. It's fantastic.
The only thing we're quite different on, actually, is the way that we train in somewhat so. So Dad is very old school. There is no kind of planned sessions. If you feel like a long run, you'll go for a long run. There's no tempo work. There's no speed work. There's no easy runs. You just go by what you feel like that day. And most of the time, that works. Whereas I need a bit more structure, I think, in that I do like 12.5-hour shifts on a ward. So I'm a nurse. So I have to be a bit more strategic in the way that I plan things. Maybe it's a woman thing. I don't know. Like, I can't do all my runs really hard because I just plummet and it...
Oh, I hear you. No way.
Yeah.
I love an easy run with Rex. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Whereas Dad's easy runs are then running with me. So
Don't discount yourself. I'll do sort of an easy run. I don't trust myself every run. Not like what you think, maybe.
The side eye's incredible on this dude.
Yeah.
you've mellowed over time. He's mellowed over time.
Well, I'm a bit like you. A bit like Gary. I came from a running on the road background, and I got into 10Ks, half marathons, marathon distance, and I was quite competitive in marathon distance and stuff like that. And then it was through a friend who I met at work. He was really into fell running. I said, what's fell running? He introduced me to this book called the Welsh 3,000 Foot Challenges.
Slippery slope. Love it.
That just absolutely blew my mind. And that's where I heard about Paddy Buckley, the Dragon's Back, and it's just what people are doing, stupid, crazy. I mean, you have to be Superman. You know, I used to think, I'm old. How are people doing these sort of crazy distances?
Absolutely. I just feel blessed that I can do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. For me, there's never been apart from when I was doing road running, there was a bit of a structure then.
Yeah.
But now I've just sort of thrown it out the window.
Oh, should we do the quick 5? Dogs allowed on the sofa and beds, yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I will speed the pictures, but 100% yes to sofas.
Yay.
Not so much on the bed for me, I'm afraid, but definitely sofas. And wherever any soft furnishing they can find themselves, then yes.
When someone says no, it's always like a little bit judgy inside.
Mine's still you can judge. Mine are not allowed on my loaf sofa.
Match that.
That's incredible. I don't believe it.
I've kept that going. It's almost a year that sofa's been in our house.
Impressive.
There's been the odd occasion when I've been home alone. It's very rare, so I could probably count on one hand, where I've just had a moment and someone might have crept up next to me and I might not have noticed, and we might have had a
Mixed
big old
signals, Eddie. Mixed signals.
massive mixed signals.
Oh.
But the rest of the house is free game. Every other bit of soft furnishing. But we made an error with the ordering. As you know, we moved house. It was all quite stressful. And the cream sofa was a big mistake.
Carwyn, one for you. The weather played a big part in this race. Would you prefer wind and rain or roasting hot trails like 2023?
Probably wind and rain, usually, for me.
You got all the kit for it. Those gloves, they need
Yeah,
to come out, don't they?
Yeah. Usually wind and rain, but to a point.
Yeah. You're a Welshman. That's just your normal... You open your back door. That's what it's like every day.
Yeah.
Give me sunshine anytime. No way. Oh, posters on your wall as a kid. Do you remember what you had up on your wall as a teenager?
Do you know, I was one of those boring kids. I don't think I had any posters on my wall, you know.
Wallace and Gromit.
Well, yeah, actually, Wallace and Gromit, which wasn't really in my room, more all around the house.
All around the house. We're big Wallace and Gromit fans.
Massive Wallace and Gromit fans. Yeah, that was it. A quiet childhood.
Did you?
Yeah, I just enjoyed being out in nature. So I can't remember the last time did I even have a magazine?
No, we didn't. Yeah. We weren't into boy bands or anything like that, or even girl bands, really.
Peanut butter and jam sandwiches was what I lived on. If I could have put that as a poster on my wall, I would have done.
We're both the same there.
Yeah.
We spoke to Rhino Boy Chris the other week, but he runs marathons dressed as a rhino. You have to run a marathon in fancy dress. What outfit are you going for?
Probably my dragon outfit. Probably.
Yeah.
With a pink tutu on.
This
I
is
wonder
what you
the
need to do.
fastest dragon is.
Fastest dragon. Keep talking. I'm Googling. Go.
Fastest, it's got, no, but it's going to be like a fastest mythical
Welsh
creature, isn't it?
dragon. Fastest.
Oh, yeah.
They're really
Welsh
particular,
dragon.
the Guinness people.
Do you know what? I'm partial to any fancy dress. Maybe like Wonder Woman or something like that.
Peanut butter and jam sandwich.
Yeah, peanut butter and jam
jam
sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here we go. I don't know what your marathon speed is like, but there is the possibility to be the fastest marathon in Welsh dress, female.
Oh.
And she looks sensational. And Jane, that's actually the men's record is by an Indian runner, 4 hours, and the women's record's 4 hours 32.
Oh. Yeah.
Shifting.
Hey, hello, let's check these out, guys.
Yeah.
We go deeper.
Yeah.
What other fancy dresses?
I think I know the answer to this one, Carwyn. Do you prefer following a GPX track or are you a map and compass kind of guy?
Compass. I'll study a map and compass all day long, and I'll generally memorize it.
He's really good.
Yeah, that's why you're looking at the map, and then I'll just go off, and then I'll instinctively know I need to go down here, turn right, whatever.
That's what I did before the spine. Not because, but just because my map and compass work was so bad. I need to know this whole real file.
When you were deviating off they have like the recommended route, don't they? And they have some alternative routes that were allowed. Did you find people were just, when you kind of deviated off route, they were following along?
Oh, Dad, even on by day one, Dad was like the talk of the trail because everyone would know that if they could find Carz with the hat, they were on a good path. They didn't even need to look at their GPX. If it was beeping, there was no care because Carz and his hat knew the way. It was pretty amazing.
Well, it was quite cool on day two, wasn't it? We set off just after Trawsfynydd, and we were going off on not the recommended route. Next minute, it was Holly Button.
Yeah.
Past us.
Taking the same line. So you know you're on the right path. Because Holly Woodman's also taking the same line.
Yeah. Smoking fast, Holly. Wow.
Yeah.
You can both answer this, and I will pick whichever one I prefer the best. But it's Instagram.
I did not. That was not in the script. You will not do that. We will give equal airtime.
No, fine.
Instagram story music time. Yeah, you can both have a crack at it.
Don't worry, Gary, because I listened to the episodes for so long. I already knew you were going to ask this question, and we've already thought of one.
Fantastic. Yeah, hit me with it. What's it going to be?
Lippy Kids by Elbow. My first thought was Radiohead, because on day 6, I caught up with a guy called Martin Clark who was playing Radiohead off from his phone. So I came up behind him and started singing along. So that was a good memory. But no, I'm sticking with Lippy Kids by Elbow. Every time I hear it, it's the right chords. And you've grown to love it as well.
Yeah, because Dad attempted a Ramsey 2 years ago.
Yeah, a friend of mine we set off together, but I mainly tried to do it by myself. And I just didn't. I got to a point where I was really struggling. And I just had that song in my head for hours and hours and hours. And I told you about it.
Yeah, I said, what are you thinking of? And you said that song, and ever since then, every time it comes on, it was like bittersweet. We'd gone all the way to Scotland from Pembrokeshire, as you know, Eddie, and one of those times you think you've come so far, but it's not the ending you wanted. We still had some amazing memories together. So, yeah.
I'm going to check it out. I like Elbow. I'll allow that one.
I was just thinking, I haven't listened to any Elbow for ages.
Lippy Kids.
Yeah.
It'll be on the playlist. Thank you so much to both of you for giving up your time to share your story, especially when it's an emotional one as well. And the journey wasn't the route you thought it would take, but it was the route that you went, and you trod it so bravely and courageously. And I know it takes a lot to come on. Takes a lot to come on when you did and explain how you're feeling, but do not, your jeopardy in your story. So many people listening will have felt such compassion and empathy towards you, but will have also felt a real sense of like, you know, when things don't go right, sometimes we don't talk about it, and we train so hard for these events. And a DNF or a different, I don't like using DNF, but you know, your race turned different. The story behind it is really important. And so thank you for sharing that story. And I know it will have helped a lot of people. You know, this race is hard. The finish is not guaranteed, but it's what you take away from your time on the trails, and the joy of your relationship together is just, if you listen to this podcast and you've never watched it on YouTube, I really recommend you watching these two on YouTube. I don't think I've ever said that, but just watching how you two talk, you sit next to each other, just you support each other. It's life goals. It really is. And it doesn't, you know, it doesn't have to be your mum or dad if people think, oh my God, you know, but just a friend. Sharing miles with friends is what we're all about on this podcast too. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And we can't wait to see you, whatever guise that is, you know, fancy dress at a checkpoint, or maybe we're handing you the water or you're handing us the water, but hopefully our paths will cross on the trails very soon. And heal well, Foot. Heal well.
And thank you so much, guys. I've done so much of my training with you guys today, and it's just been lovely through the wet and windy times to have you guys. Just you're an inspiration yourselves. So thank you.
Oh, big love.
Thanks for that.
Big hugs.
Can I invite you? I'm sending out an invitation now. I've organised, I started up a fell race from the local village here about, what is it, the 11th, 12th year?
13th year.
13th year, next year. So it's called the Preseli Beast.
No, I don't like doing things with scary titles.
It's not that long, but it is.
I don't trust anything you say if I learn this in this Zoom call.
Runners come from far and wide. It's a real community event. It's quite different from a lot of fell races because I get the whole community involved.
Fancy dress, endless tea, cowl.
Oh, I love cowl. You're sending me all the good vibes here.
Start and finish is literally a stone's throw away from the cafe. You could Google it, whatever.
Will do. What time of year is it?
It's at the start of May, so it's usually next year. It is on the 9th of May.
9th of May. All right.
There's an 11-mile and a 24-mile race. So sometimes there's a 32-mile event. Not every year, but I sometimes introduce that as well. Bring that back. So
I will check my planner.
No pressure, but the invitation.
You'd love it. You'd love it.
Yeah.
Oh, we love an invitation. Let's pencil it in, and then we'll talk. Our teams will talk.
Yeah.
You can do it as a team, you know.
We did your first day.
Test out your pairing skills before you
Here we go. Lace them up. Guys, I'm just thinking, how long is this after Northern Traverse?
I know, I was thinking Northern Traverse.
Can we walk it?
Oh, yeah.
When is Northern Traverse? Is March, isn't it?
End of March, yeah. But you're all right.
Well, yeah.
Month in a bit. I'll just be able to squeeze my shoes on by then, I think.
Yeah. And it's a stone's throw away from your parents.
There we go. Get Dad involved. Mum and Dad. Sign them up.
No excuses. We've got no excuses. Fantastic.
Oh,
yeah,
lots of
exciting.
love to you both.
And not just that, the finish is right outside the pub as well.
Yeah, it was the cafe I heard before anything
cafe
else.
And
I
there's
was
a pub.
like,
so.
oh my God. Feel a party coming on.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. Oh, I like it. Thanks for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Don't be strangers now. Next adventure, straight. Let's have a couple of months check in with you guys. I can just see this happening. Lovely. See you soon. Lots of love.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.